What's up, guys? It's Devin. PSA reveal. I don't think I've been this excited for a video in a while. Like, this is, for some reason, this is like height excitement for me. A PSA reveal, 10 cards. This was a strictly vintage order. So vintage, according to PSA, is 1979 and older. That's what this is. And these are all going to be on the low side. This was submission information. I do have it for this one, so I'm going to give it so you guys can kind of see what turnaround times are like for a vintage order. This was their July vintage special, so it was a little bit cheaper. It's $16 per card. It arrived at PSA on July 29th, and then I just received it back today, which I'm posting this at a later date, but today is October 23rd. So from July 29th to October 23rd is how long it took to go through the PSA process and get back to me in my hands, my possession. That was 86 total days start to finish, which includes weekends, non-business days. So basically 3 months. 3 months you consider 30 days a month. So just under 3 months, 86 days. I think that's a fairly good turnaround for vintage. Anybody who submitted vintage before, they definitely take longer. With vintage, they do modern cards. So 3 months I will take. If they ever can get that down, to a month or two like they do modern, that would be awesome. They just don't have as many graders for vintage, so I totally understand. The goal here, this was all stuff, vintage, that was sitting at shows and just wasn't selling for the price that I wanted it to sell for, that I valued it at when I bought it. And it was either because it had flaws and people were like, we think it's worth less. So I was like, screw it. I'm just going to ship it all to PSA. I'm going to get it slabbed up once it has the numerical grades on it. I think it'll be easier to sell. This is kind of a test for me, but I'm super excited. These should all be on the low end from my expectations. I don't remember specifically what each card was supposed to grade. I'm fine with whatever these grade at because I think they'll be easier to sell than what the raw versions were. And at $16 a card, I don't think it's going to destroy margins whatsoever. I think one or two of them might actually increase value. But the actual grade that it receives is kind of irrelevant to me. I just want it to be slabbed by PSA, and I want them all to have a numerical grade. That's all I care about. So we will go through. First card up, PSA 1 on a 57 Ted Williams. Do we remember this one? It has creases in the bottom left, and there's also creases in the back. You can see it down there. So everybody really wanted to knock me on the grade, but it's in a PSA holder, so it's authentic. It met the minimum requirements. That's all I care about. 1 out of 1957 Ted Williams. Staubach, 3 on the 72. 72 Topps Roger Staubach. I believe that's his rookie card. I don't remember everything about these off the top of my head, but PSA 3 on the Staubach. All right, we'll continue. Hank Aaron, 56 Topps Grayback with a 1. Crease nice through the middle. Hank Aaron Grayback. This is going to receive a 2. So we got a PSA 1 and a PSA 2 of Hank Aaron from 56. Clemente, 62 as a PSA 4. Koufax received a 4 from 59 Topps. Clemente received a 3 from 1960 Topps. Oh, what a bummer. This was one that I was super curious about. 1962 Post Serial Roberto Clemente. This was hand cut. The biggest thing here is if you can get it with a numerical grade by PSA, it gets a premium because they do not give it out very often. So this one just deemed authentic. Definitely a bummer. I wasn't worried about the card being authentic. I really wanted to get a numerical grade. So that's a bummer. Definitely on that one. Terry Bradshaw, 7MC. You know what? I will take that. I will take a 7MC. I thought it was a very nice card. Obviously miscut. but that is great. That very much increases the value of this card. And you know what? I'm actually going to do, I'm literally thinking about this as I'm doing this video because I think it'll be very interesting. When I bought these cards, I wrote down what I thought they were valued at the point. At least 7 out of 10. 3 of them came in like collections that were just like kind of pieced together, so I might not have the information on those, but I'll do it on the other 7, and this Bradshaw was one of them. So I'll do it at the very end. I'll break down what I thought I was supposed to sell for before I graded it, and now what the expected sale price is after grading it. I believe this is a big increase on the Bradshaw, a 7MC. We'll see. I might be wrong, but I'll do an update for you guys. And then the last one is a Jim Palmer from 66. Ooh, a 7. That's very nice on the Jim Palmer. We will happily take a PSA 7 on the 1966 Jim Palmer. All right, now I'm truly going to cut, and we'll break it down with information on the 7. 3 of them I do not have information for because they were just part of big bulk lots, so I don't have like the price that I paid per or what the expected price value was, but I do have it on the 7, so I will break down those right here after this break. I'll let it keep rolling, and then I'll edit it. All right, I'm back. It was a short break for you guys. It took me about 10 minutes or so, but I got the information, and this is great. I'm so happy about this one. These were the 3 cards that I didn't have information about what I paid. The Clemente, and the Clemente. All 3 of the Clementes, which ironically was just a Clemente part of that collection. So I don't remember exactly what these were. They were part of like a big collection. There was some vintage thrown in there, so I don't know what I paid per card. So I don't know if I increased or decreased on what I thought the value was of those. These other 7, I have, when I purchased them, my expected sale value of the raw copy. And then I just did research on what all of them are now worth based off the PSA grades that they received. So we will go through these. I'm not sure if I'll be able to screenshot or if I'm just going to put the data on the screen. I'll try to figure it out as we go. But 1957 Topps Ted Williams. So this is kind of the review of everything. It got a 1. At the time that I bought it, I thought it was a $175 card because I thought it was between a 1.5 to a 2 grade. Obviously, it got less than that, which is a big difference for 57. This is now valued at $100. Basically, my all-in cost to grade every single one of these was $16 in grading. I'm saying $2 shipping to PSA, $2 back, $20 a card to get them slabbed up. So expected sale value now is $100 minus the $20 in fees. So we're looking at estimated value of $80, and it was originally $175. We lost $95 on the Ted Williams. Now, this could be mainly off the purchase price and not necessarily grade. However, we're going to count it as a loss. $95 loss on the Ted Williams. This is where it gets good, and it starts getting real good. Terry Bradshaw. 1971 Topps Terry Bradshaw, card number 156. PSA 7 MC, which means miscut. You can see based off of where the lines are and the borders, it's not the centering that it's supposed to be, so they deemed it PSA 7 MC, which stands for miscut. I originally valued this at $100 due to the centering. However, because it got a PSA 7 MC, it actually boosted the value up. The most recent PSA 7 MC sale was $300 at the end of 2023. There's been some PSA 7 OC, which is off-centered copies that have sold around like $320, $330. We're going to go at a $300 value for this Terry Bradshaw, minus $20 in the grading. We're looking at now a $280 value for the card. We originally valued it at $100. That means a boost increase of value of $180 on the Terry Bradshaw. And I'll do a total number at the very end of everything to kind of show with these 7 cards, did we increase or did we decrease in the value? 72 Topps Roger Staubach came out as a PSA 3. Before grading it, I valued it at $50 for the card. Now as a PSA 3 with centering like this, which is decent, it's around the $60 range. So $60 in value minus $20 for the grading and shipping. It's now worth $40. And $40 compared to the expected sale value prior of $50, that means we lost $10 on the Staubach. So we lost $10 in value on the stallback. Jim Palmer was phenomenal grade at a 7. 1966 Topps Jim Palmer, PSA 7. Originally, I valued this at $45. As a PSA 7, this thing is now worth $320. So it bumped up to $320, minus $20 in grading fees and shipping. We're down to $300 is the new value. The old value was $45 when I bought it. We're now into it for $255 is the value gain on the Jim Palmer. Massive gain there for the Jim Palmer. So huge gain on the Bradshaw, huge gain on the Jim Palmer. Now these last three, both of these Hank Aaron's, I was into them for the same. So 1956 Topps Hank Aaron, this is the grayback. This is the PSA 1, which has creases down the center of his face. I valued this at $80, which I think according to like book value and other things that I saw, poor, which is what it received. This was kind of the lowest that it was out there. I valued it at $80. It's now valued as a PSA 1, $110. Take away the $20 in grading and shipping, we're at a updated value of $90, which compared to the original $80, we gained $10 in value on the PSA 1. So even though it got a 1, which is the worst grade that it can get, because it was slapped up by PSA and given the 1, we gained $10 in value. Now, the 56 Topps Hank Aaron Grayback PSA 2, I bought it the same. I valued it at $80 originally. As a PSA 2, it's now valued at $160. Minus the $20 for grading and shipping. The new value is $140, and the original value was $80. That is a $60 increase in value for the Hank Aaron that got it to, which is great. Then the last card, 59 Topps Sandy Koufax PSA 4. This one I originally valued at $50. The new value is $100, so almost double. Minus the $20 in grading and shipping. The overall new value is $80 compared to the original $50. That is a $30 increase in value. So out of the 7, 5 increased, 2 decreased, and 2 had massive increases. If you remember from the middle section, the Jim Palmer had a massive increase of $255, and then the Bradshaw had an increase of $180. Now, just for perspective so you guys understand, a PSA 7 without the qualifier for Terry Bradshaw is like an $800 card. So because it has the qualifier, it basically cuts it in half, plus a little less has been my experience with things like this. So still valued at a very nice $300. If this for some reason would have got a 7 without being MC, it wouldn't with how it was cut. But if it did, that would be a crazy increase. So the Bradshaw was the biggest, second biggest at 180. The Jim Palmer was the biggest at 255 value increase. Between these 7 cards, grading fees, expected value originally, and now expected value after post-grading, we gained off of those 7 cards $430 in value. 2 of them lost money, 5 of them gained money, 2 had major gains. $430 was the overall value increase on grading my vintage cards through PSA. Now, I know the turnaround time was 86 days, 3 months. There's not many things that are better to gain an extra $430 on your inventory over 90 days without having to do anything. You just shipped them to PSA. This was absolutely crazy. I wish I had the numbers for these so I could tell you everything. This makes me want to grade any major vintage card that I ever buy raw that's in a collection. It just makes me want to ship it out because you have no idea. I mean, the difference in the Bradshaw and the difference in the Jim Palmer, those 2 were massive on their own, and all it takes is 1 or 2 of those to make a difference, and then the other one still had good gains. So I'm very happy with this. I'm glad I did a breakdown. Hopefully I can make it edit in iMovie and make it look nice so you guys can see it side-by-side comparisons, because I think this is really cool because it could turn out to be a really cool video. So this makes me want to grade more of my vintage in the future. I'll definitely be looking to do that. I got to buy some collections first and foremost, but was awesome. I'm glad I could do this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and the time it's going to take to edit and make this one look nice. But that was a 10 card vintage PSA reveal. Again, it was the July vintage special at $16 per card, accounting for $20 in shipping there, $20 shipping back, $2 a card each way. It ended up being $20 in cost per card to do this, and a $430 overall increase in value. So super excited. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Everyone have a great day, and don't forget to smile. Later, guys.